So many butterflies, Mommy. More than I have ever seen. I simply must go out now. Oh, please, can we go? Please. Very well, dear, said Mummy Bear. I shall just pour the porridge, said Daddy Bear, so it can cool and be the perfect temperature for when we return. she exclaimed. This one is just right. Suddenly, there was a loud cracking sound. The seat of the little chair, which was much too small for Goldilocks, snapped under her weight. The little bowl flew into the air, and the contents landed with a soggy splat on the wall. Oops, said Goldilocks. Oh well, I did have a good fill of porridge, and it has made me very sleepy. Now tired, Goldilocks went upstairs. In front of her stood 3 beds in a row, big, medium, and little. First, Goldilocks tried the big bed. Oh no, she exclaimed, this bed is much too hard. So Goldilocks climbed out of the big bed, not taking any care to replace the sheets as she found them, and got into the medium bed. Oh no, she exclaimed, this bed is much too soft. Goldilocks then climbed out of the medium bed, again leaving the sheets strewn every which way, and got into the little bed. Ah yes, she exclaimed, this one is just right. With that, Goldilocks yawned, pulled the covers up over herself, and fell fast asleep. Chapter 3. Around 20 minutes passed, and 3 bears returned from their walk in the meadow. Good golly, exclaimed the daddy bear, what in the blazes has been going on in here, and who has been eating my porridge? He looked mightily angry. Mommy Bear walked up to the table, lifted her bowl, and inspected it carefully. And who has been eating my porridge? She growled through her large and very sharp, clenched teeth. Mommy, Daddy, look, cried little baby bear. My chair is broken, my bowl is empty, and there's a great dollop of porridge on the wall. The 3 bears were incensed and set about the house at once to find the intruder. They inspected every inch of downstairs, looking for clues, but they found nothing. Follow me, whispered Daddy Bear, making his way quietly across the hallway and up the stairs. When he reached the top, he stopped and stared at their 3 usually very tidy beds. Who has been laying in my bed? Roared Daddy Bear. Mommy Bear quickly stepped